Well, ahead of its 40th anniversary later this month, we're joined now by the show's first and only female host, Fiona Bruce. Welcome. It's
Hello.
very, very nice to have you here. So you are the fourth Question Time host. You at Dimbleby hosted, I think it was for 25 years.
25
I mean, he was there a really long time. It's funny today because coming in sort of saying, you know, 10 years together, first day for me, 10 years ago. When you walk into a show that's been established for so many years, it's really scary. I was terrified. How did it feel for you joining?
I was terrified.
Yeah, I bet.
Absolutely terrified. I mean, I'm used to doing lots of live broadcasting, and I've done some reasonably challenging things over the years. But when I did my first Question Time, there was a moment just in the first few seconds where I thought, oh, I'll just reach for that glass of water in front of me. And my hand was trembling so much. I thought, oh, I'm going to spill it. So I just couldn't do that. Yeah, I just went, woo, and put it back down. And then I just thought, get a grip, or this whole thing is just going to go terribly
But there
wrong.
was no question, no pun intended, that when the phone rang and it was your turn, you were asked to do that you would turn it down.
Oh, gosh. I mean, who would turn down that
No.
job? I mean, it is, you know, if you do the kind of stuff I do, you know, news and current affairs, it is the plum job. So, for sure, I mean, it had been on my sort of fantasy bucket list, if you like, for years. I'd always thought of all the jobs out there in broadcasting, that's the one I'd like to do. But I never, ever thought it would come
But you've
my
been
way.
first before, first female to present BBC General Election Results Programme, first woman newsreader on the BBC News at 10, 2003. So, you know, this is that wasn't a first for you. Was it the fact that you were the first woman? Did that make any difference at all?
No. Actually, that didn't cross my mind, to be honest. It was just, you know, following the shoes of someone so brilliant as David, and just you know, you take on a show that is so as good as that, presented by someone as brilliant as that. You just think, well, I could so easily get this terribly wrong. You know, that's what I was obviously so worried about, and the sheer unpredictability of Question Time, because I mean, not only are our politics so utterly extraordinary and febrile at the moment, but also you don't know what's going to come back from the audience, what they're going to say. And that is, to begin with, certainly, I don't feel like that now, but to begin with was very nerve-wracking, but also makes it so hugely enjoyable
Well,
to do.
people have nearly fought in there, haven't they, on your watch? I mean, you've had people getting up and really serious arguments between the audience.
Well, there was one point where we had someone who was... I mean, it's only really on Brexit that people get incredibly aerated, shall we say. And on other things, it can become a slightly more nuanced conversation. But on Brexit, people are just so polarised, as obviously they are in the Commons, as we're seeing. And so there was one guy who was very pro-Brexit and was making his arguments very forcefully. And there was a chap in front of him who was much more of a Remainer. I could see from his body language, and he was disagreeing, he was shaking his head and stuff. I said, come on, you know, why don't you talk to each other? You know, let's see what you've got to say. Let's just have a conversation. What a mistake. They just went for each other. I just thought, OK, interesting experiment.
Do you think the fact that it travels, actually, is part of the key to its success?
I think it's hugely important, because we have a lot of Westminster shows. Question Time is the only one that goes around the country. And the thing is, in politics, as in so many things at the moment, it's easy to get into an echo chamber, either online or through the papers, or however you're getting information, where you're listening to things that reinforce your view. Whereas in Question Time, not only are we getting views from around the country, which of course are different, people have different take on things and their experiences are different, but also you have, you know, it's very important to us that we represent political views across the spectrum. That's a crucial part of the programme. And so sometimes it can be slightly uncomfortable, because you've got people in that room, in our audience as well as on the panel, who have different views, and they're sitting there, they are listening and interacting, and that doesn't happen really on any other kind of programme.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, just like our show or most TV shows, there is a green room where everybody meets before the show is broadcast. What's that like?
Well, that's different every week, I would say. I'd be fascinated to know what it's going to be like tonight.
I would need to put a camera in there, like a little reality TV
I mean,
version.
the thing is, it varies. So we had one programme where Nigel Farage came on and Amber Rudd was there. Anna Soubry was there, you know, who had obviously left the Tory party and very much wants to remain. So when Nigel Farage came in, the atmosphere was not hugely warm, shall we say. And usually there's a bit of chat and people are talking to their special advisors or they're chatting to each other, you know, because a lot of these MPs are friends, even if they're not necessarily from the same party. But the atmosphere was so quiet that Amber Rudd said at one point, should put some music on. Because actually nobody was talking. And then we had another time, this was before my tenure, but it's such a great story, where Jacob Rees-Mogg came on, of course, now famous for many things, not least lying across the benches of the House of Commons. And this was before he was as well known as a member of the European Research Group, and obviously now he's got a senior position in the government. And rather than sort of chatting with everybody, he just kept himself to himself, took a novel, Agatha Christie novel, I think, out of his pocket, his suit pocket, no doubt double-breasted, read it, and then the floor manager came and said, right, we're going on now. Put it back in, and went on the programme.
What was you reading? Death on the Nile, probably.
Well, what a
nerve, though, isn't
That's
it? I mean,
fantastic.
Such a good story.
That's
Such
great.
a good story.
So does that mean that with everything that you do, whether it's the news or whether it's Question Time, that the Antiques Roadshow comes as a little light relief?
It's one of my favourite shows.
Oh,
As soon as the music starts.
That's Sunday
Yeah,
evening.
it is. It is.
I mean, the thing is, it always has been a bit of light relief, to be honest, because news is obviously, it has its own challenges. So it always has been. I suppose now, yes, definitely more than ever, and it is a very different vibe, and I loved it. I really loved doing it.
Who's on tonight?
Well, things may change. So at the moment, we think we have Kwasi Kwarteng, we have Emily Thornberry. We have Richard Tice from the Brexit Party. We've got 6 panellists tonight, actually, as opposed to the usual 5.
And you're just in Westminster.
And we're going to be near Westminster.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we weren't sure that we'd be able to get
everybody there.
to come on, yeah.
So that's tonight on
that
BBC
could change.
Yeah, of course. Well,
Subject
so
change.
could everything.
BBC One at 10:35, and the 40th anniversary episode is on the 26th of September, also on BBC One. Lovely to see you, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fiona.